intensity, you just need to mix it up. Diet wise, you need to watch the dairy because it's very high in hormones as it is, and it's going to be what you crave the most is dairy products, which is the thing you need to back off of. And you have to be careful with fat because unlike the thyroid and the adrenal body types, the fat actually encourages some of the shift into more fat storage for you, as well as more bad estrogen to have to detox through that liver. So when I get an estrogen body type, we have to be, or an ovary body type, we have to be a little careful with the fat intake. It needs to come down. All right. You're not like my adrenal body type. My adrenal body type is going to be my stress case. She's going to be my type A. She is going to have belly fat and always anxious about things and exhausted. Okay. I typically fall somewhere between a thyroid and a adrenal type myself. Likes to put too much on their plate and doesn't have enough energy to do things. So you don't get to do battle ropes, okay? You don't need to be doing anybody's marathon. You need to sit your behind down. That is my adrenal body type, okay? And what I want you to understand is once you know about these hormones, it is now your responsibility to take care of yourself. So that is why I am sharing this in the way that I am. So the adrenal body type, I have to be very mindful to not overdo it. The moment I overdo it and I want to work out every day and I want to try to lift heavier, my body actually gets more stressed out. I get more exhausted. I tend to be very weight loss resistant. So the more I do, the worse it gets. So my protocol has been, as I've started to turn 40 and over the last 5 years, I actually had to change everything I was doing because what I did in my 20s, which put me in this situation, doesn't work now at this age. So you have to understand that as an adrenal body type, as you are healing, you're going to need more fat and very little sugar, carbohydrates, and moderate protein. As you heal, once you shift down, you do not need all that fat, and you're going to have to play with the macros a little bit. But the healing phase for an adrenal is very much to lean into the fat, to calm down, to restoratively exercise. That's lots and lots of walking. This is why I teach bar at the studio, whether people like it or not, because that is the best thing for most of the people who come to me to be doing, and it will fix my ovary body types too and work their legs out. It's a great thing for everybody to be doing, but it's great for my adrenal and my thyroid types because it won't stress them out more, but it does give them the opportunity to tone and exercise. Okay, so the adrenal body type, you need to be doing things like bar and yoga and lots of walking. The adrenal body type can do keto, but you need to understand, if you even remotely look like your adrenal and thyroid, and I'm answering a question that was posted here, thyroids burn very slow. Thyroid body types do not do well with a whole lot of fat, and keto is a high-fat diet. So there's a very fine line. This is a lot of information, but thyroid, the axis that the thyroid hormones are on, are very reactive to what goes on with the adrenal axis. And so the moment the adrenal axis goes off track, it can very much upset the thyroid. Like this isn't like things are separate. So the moment the thyroid realizes that the adrenals are stressed out, things can start to downregulate. So then people can end up on keto doing way too much fat and not being able to lose weight. And it's because they're a mixed body type. And it is not actually a free-for-all to do keto. There's dirty keto, there's clean keto. And for thyroids, it can be really problematic. So for my adrenal thyroids, I have to be very clear as to what they are before I put them on a keto diet. I tend to run keto diets with my clients who have food addiction or who I've been treating for who I've been treating for, I'm looking at questions, so hold on, let me hold that train of thought. Who I've been treating for a food issue and who cannot follow a meal plan. They tend to be my sugar addicts. I typically will go in and I'll use keto until I can't use keto anymore to break that sugar and carbohydrate addiction. But I find that most people don't need to go to keto. Most people do not need to go to fasting. Most people actually need to start with paleo. That would be the best place for most people to start. And my protocols are more oriented towards paleo. And what I coach clients and when I tell people is if you start with the most restrictive, hardest, most difficult thing that you can do, where are you supposed to go when your body hits the inevitable wall that's coming? You've done everything, right? So leave yourself a little wiggle room. And my type A's and my adrenal types like to go with the most hardcore thing first, and that's not what you want to be doing. And in response to the what type, how do you figure it out? There is a quiz on the wall of my Facebook page. Please go there, take it. It shoots you to my website, tiffany'sfitforlife.com. That's where you can find out what you are. I'm actually making this video because a lot of you took the quiz and a few people are like, I'm not quite sure what I'm supposed to do now. And I thought, maybe I need to answer that. So that's why I'm doing this video. I do a deeper dive in the body type after the quiz is taken. So what you do with the body type quiz, if you're a mixed type, you go with what you're most dominant with. So that's what you do. So you're most dominant, where are most of your symptoms? That's where you would go to kind of figure out, okay, I'm a mixed type. What should I be doing? Okay, a lot of people are mixed types. A lot of people, that's very common to be a mixed type. So let me make sure I've answered some questions. I don't want to make this super duper long. If there are other questions that pop up, you can feel free to ask them, but I'll go ahead and start to close this out. This is a response to the fact that we posted the quiz. A number of you have taken it. You're not quite sure what to do. I have programming for thyroid body type and adrenal body types. Ovary body types will be coming right after that. I've given you some information here to give you an idea of what that looks like. And what I want you to hear me say is once you realize that you and your best friend took the quiz and you two could not be more different. One of you is a thyroid and the other one's an ovary. You are not supposed to eat the same. You are not supposed to exercise the same. And your hormones dictate what you're supposed to do. When you are 20, 25, and maybe 30, you get to do calories in and calories out. But after that, you need to be paying attention to your hormones because your hormones are shifting, right? As we get older, our hormones start to look at perimenopause and menopause. We're constantly changing. The sins of our youth, we start to pay for in our 30s and early 40s. And so you need to take a more customized approach to what you're doing exercise-wise before you make your hormones more resistant to your efforts and you're having to do more extreme things as you get older. All right. Any additional questions about the next steps? We have body type training at the studio. We have body type training bundled with body type nutrition at the studio. The programming at the studio is 5 to 6 days a week, Monday through Friday in the mornings, with the Monday, Wednesday, Friday being customized and the Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday being appropriate for all body types. How can I lose if I have so many different issues with my knees and my back? What type of exercise is recommended? Okay, so this is one of the reasons that I talk about walking and lower intensity exercise with lots of issues with knees and back. That's going to say to me that you're going to be a high inflammatory body type. You're most likely going to be a combination of adrenal or thyroid with something else, or those two, because once you start having all this inflammation in your joints, it starts to increase the cortisol level in your body. And so then we're talking adrenals now. You're going to be a good body type anyway to do lower intensity work. So we're talking lots of walking, lots of moderate to low intensity biking, swimming, and the Pilates and the bar work. You do not have to do all this crazy stuff to manage your weight. And I swear it's like we think the only way to do this is to jump on things and beat things up. And I have just so many clients hobbling around who have braces on this and that because that's the short-term thinking. So I would say to you, if you have a lot of these issues, we have programming for you at the studio, and it's about changing the way you think about it, okay? You're not the only one to ask that question. So I'm mostly reacting to all the people who believe that that's the only way to skin a cat. There's so many ways to lose weight. So I'd suggest that you take the quiz on the website and confirm which body type you are, but I would assume you're probably high inflammatory at this point, and you're going to need something that's adrenal and thyroid sensitive anyway. Any other questions? I see a number of you kind of floating in and out. Any other questions before I wrap up? If you're just joining, please go back and listen to the beginning of the video. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Tiffany Brown Bush. I'm a naturopathic doctor. I'm a licensed mental health counselor, and I'm a nutrition coach, and I am a trainer. So a lot of these things that I'm recommending are a combination of just experience and background and 20 years almost of working with women and trying to help them lose weight, and aging myself and realizing that you have to be willing to change and adjust and do it differently than you did before, okay? I'll be sharing some other information over the weekend about some really interesting lab work that I do with people as I do a deeper dive beyond just what we talk about with the group programs, and looking at not just hormones with people, but there's food sensitivities as well as what's going on with their minerals and heavy metals and so forth and so on. So I'll be posting some really interesting work that I'm doing in my practice as well. So do you think with what you said, keto dieting would be a good thing for me? I think you need to take the quiz, and then I'd go back and I'd watch this video again, and see where you fit in. I don't do just kind of generic blanket recommendations. And that's the whole point of the quizzes, is that you deserve something that's customized to your body. And I don't know sight unseen, and neither does anybody else. And just because it's the trendy thing to do doesn't mean it's right for everyone. I will say to you, I can't do keto. I would be considered someone who does a very clean keto to paleo, because pure keto has way too much fat for me, and my thyroid doesn't allow me to burn fat. The keto diet shuts me down. It's also way too much fat for my liver, and throws off my liver, not enzymes, but my cholesterol levels. I pull labs on myself. I pull labs on people, Trina. I just would say you need to know what's up with your body, and then respect and honor what it's trying to tell you. So I do a very different protocol than what pure keto is, and it would be irresponsible for me to just tell you to go do it. Okay, same thing with fasting. If everybody doesn't need to be doing all this extended fasting. You can do small windows where you don't eat, but all of this, like I'm gonna fast for 18 hours and all this other stuff, when really you need to stop drinking wine. We need to just kind of be mindful of making the right decisions. Yes, my pleasure, Trina. So hopefully that helps, and let us know. Post and let me know, Trina, under this video, what your body type is, because that's what this whole thing was about. Okay, all right. Thank you so much. I will wrap this up. I hope this was helpful. If you watch this later, please post questions, and I'm happy to answer those as I catch them, all right? Stay fit for life.